Coach, congratulations on victory number 25, 19 in a row. Always good to win at home. Always good to beat Wabash Valley. Always good to have a 19-game winning streak at the end of the season.
Yeah, it was a good grinded game.
It was a grind, wasn't it?
It was a grind. They're playing hard. They're trying hard. They're working hard. They made it tough for us, and we handled it fairly well. I mean, we ended up shooting 50% from the floor. Shot our free throws well. We out-rebounded them pretty decisively. I'm looking at these first stats, and we defended them pretty well. We just grounded out. That's why we didn't hit any threes. We hit a couple in the game, but just had to grind it. We did.
They're long. They're big inside, and I thought we handled that pretty well. Really impressed, I think, with the play of Hussein El Miraji and Kanazu Chugwu. I mean, they've really developed as a 1-2 punch, and I think the ability to go inside and score like that is an important factor to have when you go into the national tournament, because you're going to find some teams out there that are going to have inside presence, and we're going to have to score against that.
Like I said, that was a grind game. I mean, they defended well. They made it tough. They're pressing, trapping, grinding. We had too many turnovers in the ball game. Wasn't a lot just from the press. We just turnovers. We got to clean that up, and that probably kept them relatively in the game. I think if you just even glance at the stat sheet right now, everything else, they shot it pretty well from the three-point line. They're not a great three-point shooting team. They were 7 for 15, so they were really efficient there. And they were able to hang in because of that. We got to clean the turnovers up. Again, it wasn't forced from the press, right? But, just they played hard all the time, and we made too many sloppy mistakes because of it. I
mean, defense is so important, especially in the national tournament. I made a comment during the course of the game that in the JUCO games I've watched from all around the country this year, when we were playing good defense, maybe like we did, especially in the first half of this ball game tonight, I don't think any team in the country is better than we are. We just got to sustain that if we can for 40 minutes. That's hard to do.
It's really difficult, and we have, we're playing a lot of freshmen. We don't want to talk about that a lot, but we've got a lot of freshmen that are playing a lot right now. So they're learning, and then the sophomores we have, all but LeBron are transfers. So, we are like everybody in the world. You're trying to get them to learn how to play hard enough, intense enough. And I think we tried to do that tonight. I did. I think we tried to do it. We made it hard on them. We held them to 52 points. We held them to 36% shooting. They made some threes when they had an opportunity. We kept them off the offensive glass. We only gave 4 offensive rebounds. So we did a lot of good things. We just had too many turnovers of the basketball. But, again, credit Wabash because they played really hard and made it tough.
You brought in 4 transfers, and, of course, Conmu is one, Cooper is one, along with Sacco and El Miraji, and they all came from programs maybe at the very best similar to the level we play at, maybe not quite that level. Yeah. But when you bring those guys in, they've been successful where they have been, and now then you're bringing them to a program where they've got to reach a higher level of play. I mean, you have to see that ability to improve before you get them to come here and then convince them to do it because it's in their best interest.
Yeah, we are what we are. And we've had a really good track record of what happens if you're a guy who can really buy in and really do it. There's no mysteries this game. It's just most people aren't I think willing, and you might say able to do it. But there's a level that you got to get to, and that's how it is. And they start out, we talk all the time, there's a big old wide pile of guys in JUCO, and then there's a little bitty narrow group that's going to get the opportunities they want. And then there's even a narrow group of that once they get them, we're going to do something with them. We just historically, beaten that system. And so if you want to beat that system, we're going to show you how. But it's a lot of really hard work and intensity.
I've been doing this for 53 years, 43 with the Trailblazers, and it's amazing during the game. The ball goes inside under the post. You got the guys are all bumping around, bump, and all of a sudden a foul gets called, but there's been 4 or 5 prior contacts to that before they finally get around to calling the foul. I know you were upset during that one timeout. You didn't even talk to the team. You spent the entire 60 seconds telling the officials some of the finer points of how to call the game.
Well, it was just one simple thing. I thought they were moving on their picks down there, which I hadn't said a lot about. We'll be tough enough, we'll figure it out. But they were moving on the ball screens up here all the time. They were sliding on it, which was giving them some opportunity to become free. And they even had a little bit of elbows up. Okay, well, I got 2 fouls called on Hussein, who was pretty stationary. That's enough. Look, we got no calls down there on that. I got 2 here on that. No. No, I thought Hussein's fifth foul was. He's standing there, and the guy is dropping his shoulder into him. I don't know
exactly.
I don't know what you're supposed to do, and it's just one of those things. And you just play through it. You do the best you can. Officials trying the best they can, but I think there's things going on. I haven't had a tee all year. I'm not saying a whole lot, but that was a situation where I thought, well, that we've got 2 fouls on illegal screens down here, and I'm not sure that right now that should be a discrepancy going that way, but that's just something that happens in a game.
Tuesday night, we'll close out the regular season against Kaskaskia. They barely beat Olney today at Centralia, 82-77. What I watched, Olney played pretty well for a team that only has 6 guys, but Kaskaskia, after an 8-game losing streak, now has found a couple of successful ways to win. So they'll come in here on Tuesday night, and they can be a problem if we let them do what they want to do, and that's control the tempo of the game.
We're just going to try to grind it out and figure it out like we are. We're going to try to play good basketball. We'll have to practice tomorrow because at Tuesday. Usually we take Sunday off, but we'll go light tomorrow. Maybe get a lift in, and then we'll try to get focused on them really on Monday. But mostly it's us. How well we play, how hard we play, how sharp we play. And a game like today is a great game to learn from and get sharp from at the end of the year. I mean, like I said, Wabash is playing really hard. It's why they had 3 blowout wins coming into this game. I mean, they had won by 3 big totals. They beat Kaskaskia last weekend by 27. They won on the road at Shawnee Wednesday by 34. And, of course, they've beaten Olney by over 20 the game before that. And Olney's not playing bad. They've got, they figured out how they want to play and make it, tough and they're patient. They go through the 2 guys that they're going to work through. So they can make you work. But, we got one last game. We need to get everybody out here. These sophomores got one more time on this floor. They got an opportunity to do something extremely rare, going undefeated in this district. There's been very few teams in history that have. Very few teams. And they have an opportunity to do that, and that is a big-time thing. And I also think it would be very difficult to keep us out of Hutch. Right now, but if we win this last game and you're going to end the year as one of the top 6 or 7 teams in the country, it really doesn't logically make any sense how you could be left out. So, we got a chance to do a lot of great things, but it's the last day for the sophomores, and I'd love to see a lot of people out here to watch them.
Let's close out by recognition of tonight's player of the game, underwritten by the Vincennes Hampton Inn, the official provider of hotel rooms for visiting teams here at VU. And I don't know, you got Conmu with his third double-double.
I think we got to go Brian.
15-13, yeah.
Yeah, I think, he didn't shoot as good a percentage as we might like, but he gave a presence there. He also had to handle the ball as the inbounder and the trail guy against the presses, which, for the most part did a pretty good job of that. There was a couple loose plays, but for the most part did a good job, and that was a key in the game as well. So I think you have to go. I think you got to go with Brian on that. But like I said, Hussein had a nice night, did some good things. A little bit of foul trouble kind of knocked him down, or it could very well have been him if he got those minutes in the second half the way it was going. Travell did some good things. I thought Dayton was doing some good things defensively early, and activity there, but. I got to go with Brian tonight.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Dave.